the scriptures show that three people are the ones that Yahweh promised that would come, mainly those that we see in Malachi. Malachi 3, the first verses, show that three people had to come, two of which are the manifestation of Yahweh on two different times. That is why those two in Malachi 3 kind of get mixed up. If you don't read it carefully, it seems like it's talking about the same person. However, it says two things about the same person, showing two manifestations of Yahweh in two different times. And then he adds at the very beginning, actually, the coming of he who would prepare the way, Eliyahu, who came as John the Baptist. So there are three who would come. That's why when Yahushua and also John the Baptist was asked to give testimony of himself, they asked him if he was Eliyahu, or if he was the Messiah, or if he was the prophet. So there are three that would come. In Christianity, they only think of, well, one could say two, but they only pay attention to one, which is Messiah. And of course, our main attention should be in the Son, who is the way to the Father. However, sadly, because of the wrong interpretations which they believe, the Messiah that they follow is not the actual Messiah, sadly. So that is the main problem, that they are focused on a false image of the Messiah. So that causes a lot of trouble in their doctrine. But my point is, obviously they know of John the Baptist and how he came to prepare the way. It is common that they don't know that much about the two witnesses because they believe that it has to do with the Jewish people. And since they don't believe that they are Israelites, because most of them are not, but many of them are, yet they don't know it, but they were taught that they are Gentiles, so that's how they grew up. So they see the Jewish people as a separate nation, as a separate thing, and they believe that the two witnesses have to do with them, so they don't deal with the two witnesses that much. They don't really think of them or preach about them that much because they don't think it's that important. And even when they preach it according to what the theologians, I guess, would say, that false doctrine that they have followed in Christianity. And well, since they follow Theo, which is where came from the name Zeus, that's why theology, the study of God, there's a connection where I believe those who are watching know already, but just in case, the name God, as in Spanish, Dios comes from Zeus. God comes from, well, there are several things that could be said regarding that, but the straight line can be made to the Hebrew. God in Hebrew is fortune. We see in scriptures that people either worship Yahweh or fortune. You cannot worship two. You have to choose one. You either love the Almighty Creator or you love the illusion of power, which is done in this world through fortune or money. So, since people, well, like I was saying also, they have been following a false image of the Messiah, that is why they end up with the prosperity doctrine, for instance, thinking that it is all about the money and making more money. And if a church and the pastor of that church has a lot of money, then that means that they have the Spirit. So it is obviously a false idea which most people believe nowadays, unfortunately, in society. And that is key in understanding this chapter, as we are seeing. And like I was saying, there were three people seen in Malachi: Eliyahu, Messiah, and the prophet. Yahushua said that he is the Messiah, and he said that John the Baptist is Eliyahu. Therefore, there is one that still has to come. Christians don't think of it. Jewish people, well, since they rejected Messiah, then the truth regarding everything else is really hidden for them, but they do have a lot of knowledge. So they do believe in Messiah ben Yosef and Messiah ben David. That's pretty much the last and the first, as I said them. And then they believe in Eliyahu coming. So they do think of the three that have to come, but they don't accept Messiah or John the Baptist. So for them, the three of them still have to come. So it's kind of fuzzy when it comes to the what they are expecting and what will happen, and that is why they may be fooled by the beast, the false prophet, and the false Messiah, because those three will manifest during the same time. Christians are only expecting one. That's why the false Christians, those who do not accept the true Almighty and true Messiah, will end up accepting the false Messiah, who will come last from those three that I mentioned. The Jewish people will, the false Jewish people will accept the beast, and then will use the false prophet to gain power over the nations, the Goyim, by creating the image of the beast, which will be the false Messiah that Christians will follow, those false Christians that I mentioned earlier.